I'm going to produce something right now which you can sort and filter and identify the key variance issues in no time at all. Okay, so you've been presented with some data that looks a bit like this, and you've been told to put it into a monthly sales report. So I'm just going to copy and paste that data over here. And when I paste it, I'm going to hit Control T to turn it into a table. And when I hit OK, that will just appear exactly what I want it. And now I'm going to add a variance column on there, which is actual minus budget. So I just rename that column variance like that. And the second thing we can do is switch on the totals row on the table design menu. So we'll hit totals row and we get a total coming out. But in order to get that on every column, I'm going to grab the little grab handle in the bottom right hand corner and drag that to the left. So we get that formula replicated in the context of all the new columns. So you just need to tidy a few formats and stuff before we go on. So I'm going to highlight all the data and then hit Control-Shift-1 on my keyboard. And that's going to format it with 2 decimal places, but you can just click on the menu there to reduce the number of decimal places, or you can hit shortcut Alt-H9. So I'm just going to put a header on the report, which I've copied over from a previous thing, which is pretty straightforward. On the table design menu, the next thing we're going to do is we can add a slicer. And we hit insert slicer. I've just done product category there. And yes, it works, but it doesn't look great, does it? So what we need to do is just give that a bit of a formatting too. So I'm going to pick from the menu the design that's sort of closest to my table really, which is I'm okay and happy with that. So I can, if I reposition this slicer and hold down Alt at the same time, it will snap to the grid. So there we go, it's all snapped to the grid, but it still looks a bit rubbish, doesn't it? So luckily there's this column setting that we can change to 3, so we can get 3 columns on the slicer. I'm just going to remove the grid lines on the menu there, and it looks a lot better. What we're going to do now is start adding some visualizations. So we can do this very, very easily, and it's very, very easy to interpret what's going on once we've done it. So I'm going to add a new column, which is exactly the same as the previous variance column. So I'll just make it equal to that column. I've got a little trick here, because what we're going to basically do is turn this column into a data bar. We don't actually want the column heading to appear. So what we'll do is we'll go into the format menu here, format cells, and we're going to add a custom format, which is essentially 3 semicolons. I'm not going to go into massive amounts of detail, but basically what you're saying is for positive numbers, we don't want any formatting. We don't want any formatting for negative numbers, or for zeros, or for text. So basically, we're not going to show anything, no matter what we type in. So there we go. We've got a blank column. But you can see at the top here, the column name is still column 1. So now what we need to do is add some conditional formatting to this new column. So we'll click on the top there to highlight the whole column. And once it's highlighted, we'll go into conditional formatting and data bars and add a data bar. And I'm just suggesting that you pick this green one here because it's almost perfectly set up for what I want. So I'll click on that, that's gone in. And then we just click manage data bar to sort of format it slightly. So I'll click on there to change the rules. So there's a couple of things I like to change first of all. So the first is we tick that box to show the data bar only. So that's going to get rid of all the numbers behind the scenes. And then rather than have automatic minimum and maximum, I like to use percentile for both of those, which is just if you've got an outlier, your data is not going to skew everything. So if you've got the numbers in the thousands and the hundreds, you won't get a huge data bar that makes all the other data bars look very tiny and you could barely see. So stick with 10 and 90 as a default and it looks fine most of the time, but if you want to play around to get rid of your outliers, feel free. I'm going to just change this red because it's a bit harsh to sort of darker red. And then I'm also going to check on cell midpoint so that we've got everything sort of going around the center, so the positive and negative variances. So hit OK on there, and that's looking pretty good. and it's centered around the middle. And as I widen or shrink that column, all the data bars scale with it. So that's actually good. Now there's a number in that cell, so what it does mean is we can sort and filter on the data bar itself, even though you can't actually see the number. It's the same as if we were sorting on the variance column, because we basically made it equal to that column. Now what we're going to do is add a column, almost exactly the same kind of technique for the variance percentage. So we'll just divide the budget sales, and you can see that that instantly drops down. And if I hit Control Space, which is another way of highlighting the whole column, and then Control Shift 5 to turn that format into a percentage, which of course you could have done on the menu anyway, but that's just the shortcut. Now we're going to call that cell percentage variance, because I don't really want to type the whole word in and make the column really wide. So yeah, left it at var %. Now if I make another column exactly the same as that, we have another column now that equals exactly that, and we can just use the format painter to highlight the whole column and paste the format onto the new column. Effectively, we've done straight away, we've created the exact same settings for our conditional formatting, and we now have another data bar column here for variance percentages, and we can sort and filter on any of those percentage variances. This is nothing compared to how impressive we're going to make it in step 2 in the next video, because I want to be able to conditionally format the top data bar in a different color to the rest, and the built-in data bars just don't let me do that. But there's a great little technique that you can use to replicate those data bars so that we can now conditionally format them, and we can do other things with it as well, as you'll see when it's coming up next.